Hi, welcome back to the channel. I've had a little break. I've had a couple of weeks off. I had a week up north at Coral Bay, got lots of sun, big tan obviously, probably got a little tiny bit of colour there. The rest of the time, I put a hat on and sunscreen if I go outside. You have to here in Australia. So yeah, anyway, it was good. Had a good relaxing time. Had a good time down south as well, south of Perth. So here I am back to talk about a few things, primarily the GPHG, which is in 2 days' time. On Thursday the 7th is the Grand Prix d'Horlogerie de Genève, GPHG. It's kind of like, I guess it's the Oscars of the watch world. They have a big evening. It's in the Grand Théâtre de Genève, and pick a bunch of watches out of a bunch of entries. There's a lot of watches entered in this thing, this competition every year. And this year there were some entries which frankly were surprising. There's no sort of, anyone can enter basically, and sometimes some little brands enter. Anyway, anyone can be there, but now they have a pre-selection. They've narrowed it down to a bunch of watches to, I think, 6 in each category now, which I'm going to go through on the computer here because I don't remember. There's like 14 categories, and in each of those there's probably 10 watches have been entered, and they've narrowed it down to 6 per category. So that's what I'm going to go through now. I'm going to start at the top of the list, and it's a big night. Everyone's there in Geneva. It's sort of the industry thing. Big brands come and go. I don't think Patek have ever participated, to my knowledge. And Richard Mill, when I worked for them, one year they put about 8 watches in a bunch of different categories and got nothing. When that happens to a brand, usually they sort of don't show up for a couple of years. They can choose whether they go in it or not. All they need to do is they need to provide watches to be judged, basically. And so they use these prizes in marketing, obviously. In the last few years, the independent watchmakers have got a bit more of a go because the jury has really opened up to a wider demographic, and they have a lot of journalists and even bloggers who are sympathetic to independent brands, which make it better for the indies and give them more of a chance against the big brands. Anyway, I'll start going through. So the first category is ladies, and I'm not going to show you this on the screen. You can go and look it up yourself on the GPHG website. If you look up GPHG website, GPHG Geneva, you'll come to the website, gphg.org, and that's where all the watches are. I'm not sure how long they'll stay there after the actual prize giving, but in the ladies category, we have a Bulgari, a Chanel, an Hermes, a Hublot, a Moritz Grossman, and a Van Cleef & Arpels. You can check them out yourself. I think probably the Chanel has got a pretty good chance. It's the latest rendition of the ceramic J12. It's been 19 to 20 years, I think, since they brought that out. One of the first ones had, for a number of years, an my Piguet movement, I remember. Now they have their own movement. It's a pretty cool watch. It's a nice size too. It's 38 mil, so for ladies, it's probably going to be you have a good chance in that category. Otherwise, there's a Hublot, classic fusion. It's a Hublot with a bunch of diamonds on it. The dial is kind of has angles. It's a fusion Orlinsky titanium alternative pave. Orlinsky's a guy who's an artist. He's a sculptor, and he does those big animals. I've seen one in Switzerland, in Comontana. Then there's a few different spots where look it up. Basically, they might have a chance at Hublot. The others don't really interest me much. I think it's Chanel. I'm just basically going to give you my picks here, really. So we'll see how I go in a couple of days' time. Then there's ladies' complications. That we have a Bulgari again, a Chaumet, Flying Tourbillon, a Jacob & Co. It's called a Fleur de Jardin, the flowery version of their astronomie or whatever they call it, with the sun in the middle, lots of butterflies and stuff flying around, lots of diamonds. That's probably got a chance because it's quite a nice looking watch color wise. MB&F Legacy Machine Flying T, basically the ladies' MB&F from Max Busser. It's a nice watch as well. So I'm going to say basically the Jacob & Co there, or maybe the MB&F. There's also Louis Vuitton, Van Cleef & Arpels, which is a great brand, but doesn't really do it much for me there. Watch this year. Then the men's, we have a Alchemist Mechanical Healing. That's an Alchemist brand. It's a newish brand. De Bethune, yellow gold watch. And there's a Grand Seiko, which is beautiful. There's a Gronfeld, which is also beautiful. A Laurent Ferrier, his Bridge 1, which is a kind of funny shaped watch, which I'm not a massive fan of. And then Carrie Voutilainen's 28 Titanium, which is like a backwards watch where you can see the balance wheel and everything from the front of the watch. It's a beautiful watch. I'm sort of torn there between the Voutilainen and the Gronfeld. They're both fantastic watches. And also that Platinum Grand Seiko, the spring drive manual wind Platinum Snowflake Grand Seiko. They're all cracker watches. I'd probably lean towards either Carrie or Gronfeld's watch in that category, the men's category. Then there's men's complications, where we have an Audemars Piguet, code 1159, the whole line of which I'm not a major fan of. There's a Sapec Genève, there's a David Condor, Ulysse Nardin Freak, which I don't like at all. It's harder to read than the old ones. Vacheron Constantin, Overseas Tourbillon, and a Zenith Double Tourbillon. I'm not a fan of any of them, really. I'm going to pass on that one. Zenith, maybe. It's not a bad watch. It's a bit busy looking, very busy, as some complications are. There's some there that I really don't like at all. The Sapec Genève is a Place Vendôme Ombre, it's called, a model. It's not bad, it's quite classic looking, maybe that one. Then we go to Iconic, and there we have a Royal Oak Jumbo with a salmon dial, a Girard Perregaux, a Hamilton chrono, a IWC jumping hours and minutes, and then a Tag, a Monaco, and a Zenith 50th anniversary revival, one of which I got. And I have a Royal Oak, so I'm a bit biased towards those as well. I think that salmon dial, I had a look at it at SIHH beginning of this year. It's a beautiful, beautiful watch. So I'd probably go for the AP in that case. Then we go to chronometry, and there's some pretty weird and wonderful looking watches here. There's a Presuzio, there's an Armand Strom, there's a Chronometrie Ferdinand Berthoud, a Tag, which is pretty basic looking. Most people have seen that new Tag Ortavia Isograph, a Zenith Defy, and an IWC with a tourbillon. And as far as chronometry goes, they're very precise watches. The Tag is probably punching above its weight in that category. As much as I'm not a big fan of Tag in general. It's not a bad watch. The Chronometrie Ferdinand Berthoud is a nice looking classic watch. It's different. It's a regulator, so it's one of the big second hand in the middle. So I'd go for that one, I think, or the Tag. Then we have calendar and astronomy. We have an AP perpetual calendar. There's another Chronometrie Ferdinand Berthoud with a complicated looking moon phase. There's Girard Perregaux Cosmos with a blue Girard Perregaux with the Neo Bridge design. There's an Hermès, which is quite a cool watch, L'Heure de la Lune. I have a friend who ordered one of those at SIHH, and it's a very, very nice one, that one. The Saponeva is stunning. The Ulysse Nardin leaves me cold, Mega Yacht, whatever it's called. Saponeva Lunations is an awesome watch that Stepan's done with fiber optic moon. Not only that, it's a really accurate moon presentation. A moon phase, we have to adjust them. The exact moon phase, this one measures, it's 29 and a half days, we used to say, but it's 29 days, 12 hours, 44 minutes, 2.3 seconds. That's what his moon phase is measured in, which is the exact moon phase. It needs to be adjusted for a single day every 14,000 years. So it's a very accurate moon phase, and it's a very cool looking watch. If you go online and look at the Stepan Saponeva Lunations watch, he's still got his little moon face that he engraves on his watches, engraved into the ends of the fiber optics. So it's a beautiful look, and it's a sort of a transparent look for the whole watch. So I would definitely go. That would be my choice for for the calendar and astronomy. Hermes is nice as well as a runner-up. Then we've got mechanical exception. I don't know what they mean by that, but there's everything there is pretty complicated looking. There's an AP, there's a Bulgari with a perpetual calendar, there's a Genus with a weird affichage or the readout on the dial. Then there's a Ulysse Nardin, which is even a freak, which is worse than the old freaks. There's an Uwerk, sort of a hybrid watch. There's a Vacheron Constantin. None of those, apart from the AP, really speak to me much. I know we're probably over the Royal Oak, but that is a nice QP, ultra thin from AP with a nice blue dial. They've foregone the patisserie dial because it's already quite busy. So I'm going to, I'd probably go for that one for the mechanical exception. Then we've got chronograph, straight chronographs. We've got a Bulgari, a Chopard, a Hublot, a Louis Moinet, a Tag, and a Zenith, which look pretty much the same, both of them. For that one, I'd go for the Chopard. Maybe it's a nice brown, classic-looking dial with flyback chronograph. The Bulgari does have a GMT chronograph. That's kind of a nice watch, and they're very flat. But it's that grey style, which, yeah, I can take it or leave, really. I'd go for the Chopard for that category. The divers watches, none of them look much like divers, apart from the Longines and the Seiko. We also have a Reservoir, it's a small brand with jumping owls. A Dubetune, I saw that, I had a good look at that watch at SIHH. It's a cool watch, but I don't think I'd take it diving. Has a LED light system where you press the button and it lights up, with a tourbillon, if I'm not mistaken. We have a Ressence, which is a cool watch from the Belgian brand Ressence. Then we have a Ulysse Nardin diver, Great White, which is a white bezel, white strap diver, grey dial. Doesn't really do it much for me. The Seiko is a great LX line Seiko, proper dive watch. That's probably what I would get my vote in that category. Then we have jewellery. There's a Bulgari Serpenti watch, there's a Chopard, Hermes, Hublot with a rainbow coloured set stones watch, rose gold watch. Jacob & Co is a really cool tourbillon, mystery tourbillon, and a really nice way of telling the time as well. I think I'd go for that one because it's just blinged out. These are all blinged out, of course, being jewellery watches. And then Van Cleef & Arpels secret watch, one that opens up so you can see the time on it. The Jacob & Co mystery tourbillon is a really cool watch. Check it out. Has the three-dimensional tourbillon in the middle of the dial, and then these jagged diamonds, like making a jagged edge around the hole where the tourbillon is in the middle. I really quite like that one. Then we've got artistic crafts. There's an Anderson Genève, there's a Berev, there's a Chopard, there's an Hermes again, Jacob & Co again, and then Voutilainen with a Starry Night vine. He's got a new watch with a new design on the front. Carrier's watches are always beautifully done when they come to a lacquer, and there has a cloisonné enamel dial and lacquer. It's a beautiful watch. You need to look at that. It's called the Starry Night Vine from Carrier Voutilainen. So that will definitely get my vote for the artistic crafts. Then there's a Petit Aiguille. Petit Aiguille is from 4,000 to 10,000 Swiss francs in that range, and no more, which is 5,800 to 15,000 roughly Australian dollars, and that's that category. It's only within that. In the Petit Aiguille, we have David Rutten meteorite watches. He's got a case made out of meteorite, which is kind of a cool watch. There's an IWC pilot watch, Spitfire. There's a Kudoke, and I'm not sure it's got a moon phase in that one, which is kind of a nice watch made in Germany. There's a Maurice Lacroix, which doesn't do much for me. There's a Trilobe, not a fan either, and a Zenith, basic pilot Zenith. I'd actually go for the David Rutten, not sure if it's Rutten or Rutten, meteorite watches. Look that up, it's called a Streamline. It's the concept of having the hours and minutes on discs and seconds, turning like it's a jumping hour, and then turning within a really cool, it's an Art Deco styled case made out of a lump of meteorite. It gives a really nice finish. And for that price, it's a pretty nice watch. I'd go for that one in that category. Next one, we have a Challenge, which is under 4,000 or under 5,000, 6,000, 5.8 Aussie dollars. And then we have a Sega design. That's a little brand that's been around for a little while. Sort of a big globe watch. There's a Doxa, basic Doxa diver. There's a Gorilla Watches, Fastback Drift, which is the brand made by Octavio Garcia, but launched by Octavio, who used to work for AP. He was the main designer for AP. I know Octavio well. It's a pretty cool watch, that one. It's a very cheap version of the drifting hours or the turning hours that AP used to have, and a couple of other brands have played with. It's a very cool watch. I have one of the basic watches, the old style, just a standard hour, minutes and seconds, and that in the same case. It's again punching above its weight as far as case materials go. Then we have a Tudor, the new Black Bay P01, which I wasn't never a fan of, despite being a big Tudor fan. Then a Seiko Presage with porcelain dial, which is beautiful, beautiful watch, nice colours. And then we have the Ming 17.06 copper, which I actually ordered online. So I really like that watch, again for the price. So the Ming would get my vote there. It's a really nice copper dial in a checker plate, like a Guilloche style dial. Or the Seiko with a porcelain dial with a red 12, or in Roman numerals with a red 12 at the top, automatic. They would get my vote for that category. So there you have it. That's my vote in most of those categories, or those categories. It's a big evening. It's a big night where everyone gets together and everyone sort of, no one knows until on the night what the results are, and they have, they read about on stage. They go through all the watches. An expert goes through all the watches and their pros and cons, or mostly pros. They don't talk about many cons really. And then, so everyone from the industry or all of these brands are there in the audience, basically. They have representatives in the front rows, and they have the whole theatre full. You sit up the back in the boxes and whatever, and just yell and cheer and carry on, basically. It's a good night. I'm going to miss it this time. I have lots of friends there, obviously, who are there. I have a few of those watches which are from those brands that are in the running. A couple of the watches that are actually there this year, new watches this year. So we'll see how we go, basically. Again, we sort of tend to go for the independents more, the big brands. They sort of sometimes don't need the coverage, but they're in there anyway. It's all a status thing, basically. Have a look at the website. Have a look at what you think. They used to have another category which was a people's choice type thing where you could win something, but I think that's gone by the board by the looks. So that's for the GPHG in Geneva in 2 days' time on Thursday the 7th. Then on the following Saturday is the Only Watch auction. I'm going to try and do another little video about that before then. Cheers.